and welcome back to Intesoul Leadership, where we talk about what it means to be a leader and how we can continue to flourish in our role of leaders as we create thriving environments and cultures for everyone who is under our leadership. That's really what it's all about, because when people are comfortable to grow, to learn, to develop, to even exercise their strength and be able to use them, then we create a space where they do not want to leave. And if they do, it's because you and they acknowledge that you as a leader help them get to a place where they have been able to just excel to a point they're ready to go and help another organization or another area within your organization to do just the same. That's what a great leader does, is we're open to duplicating ourselves in that space so that we then duplicate ourselves even beyond the areas that we can go. I can't be everywhere. I can't go everywhere. And I come from leadership perspective in my own unique space, but based on the true foundation of what leadership is really all about, really building up strong foundation for people to be able to share, to be able to be creative and innovative, to be able to learn how to stand accurately and with integrity in a time of adversity. That's when I create spaces where people can build up those skills and learn how to do that well, and then go teach other people, then I'm doing exactly what my goal is, which is to touch 1 million leaders across the globe to help them sound different, look different, and leave people feeling different. That's my goal, because what got us here as leaders in the past, it's not working as we create this new future, is not going to work in its totality, and it's being all that we need to do. No, we've got to add some more onto that, like adding the nuts and the cherry and the whipped cream and the sauces on top of that ice cream. We've got to build and continue to make leaderships a place of juiciness, a place of where we just want to continue to grow, and other people want to follow us in the spaces that we're going, so we can transform the ugly, we can transform the mundane to be things of greatness, to be areas that really are serving the population, society well. That's a mouthful, but that's what we need to do as leaders. That's why I say leadership matters. Leaders matter. Yes, you do. I mentioned that in my book, No Bosses Allowed, Lead to Serve and Transform. By the way, have you gotten your copy of that book? It's really powerful. It compares and contrasts 12 steps between a boss and a leader. And I often share with people, nobody's looking for somebody to boss them around, but they all are looking for someone to help lead them into a greater future and a greater space than where they are. And with that, I wanted to talk about today, restoration. We often as leaders have to be in a space where we're ready to restore someone who may have failed, someone who maybe you wouldn't call it failing, but just hasn't gotten the momentum and their stride in your area or the skill set that they're going, and they may have misstepped or something of the sort. It's an area that we have to be ready to restore as opposed to tear down. Now, I'm going to ask you if you could take some time to reflect on the last time. I'm not even asking you to go back deep in history, but reflect on the last time that you made a mistake, that you didn't get the instructions right. Let's focus on those. And how did we feel? And some may say it was a costly mistake in that it cost you personally, it cost the organization greatly. And even if they were gracious enough to keep you, you feel like your reputation has been tainted because of it. Or it could be outside of, maybe you've just been a golden child at the workplace and never misstepped. I would question that. But say you have. In life, we misstep. We make mistakes. And so I bring us back to those very personal moments, the very personal moments when you've had a misstep or you just failed. Here's another one. How about when it wasn't your fault, but you got blamed for it? How about when it was just the circumstances that surrounded you, that you weren't privy to some information that you could intervene before things got really bad? And as leaders, we run into those situations often, if not often, like every day or whatever. But when it happens, you feel like it's often enough. I don't need to go through this again. No, sirree, I don't. So I think you get my point that when we have personally, and we remember the personal journey, whether it was because at our own hand of just not getting it right, or because of the circumstances that led to me having to carry the weight of something not going right, that I needed to be restored. You needed to be restored in those moments back to a place of feeling like you were back in good standing. You were in solid footing. The people around you, your leaders, other leaders, your peers, they still respected you. And I want to share a couple of reasons why they did that. What will cause people to allow you to be restored, allow you to still respect you, even if you had a misstep? Because restoration is for everyone. As a leader, please say that. Please adopt that as a way and a practice of life as a leadership. Restoration is due everyone. Where, how, that's up to you. But we need to find a way to help restore those who feel like I'm going to pay the cost for this for the rest of my life. Nothing will ever be the same again. Yeah, no. And I say no because you as a leader are going to take these tips and help people understand where they are. Now, first and foremost tip is it does not mean that you make a wrong a right. What do I mean? You don't say that, oh, it's okay. Many people have done that before. Or, you know what? Actually, it's going to turn out okay if it's not. We have to learn to stand with people as they're being restored, but stand with them as they own their misstep, as they own their mistake, as they own what got them here. Let's be truthful. Let's be integrous in how we stand with them, and don't make a wrong a right. It happened. They're not the first person that made a mistake, and they won't be the last. But this scenario, yeah, that didn't go so well. And then you quickly pivot to, let's talk about how we can make this better. And we're going to make it better for you and for the team and the organization or the project that you're working on. We're going to make it better holistically. And we're not just going to make it better for the organization and leave you out there hanging. Let me show you what that looks like. Many times, if somebody on your team, on someone on a team makes a mistake, here comes the leader, swoops in, takes over, becomes a hero, and goes back out with the medal. And here's this person who is on your team now feeling totally deflated and totally rejected because I saw this, or you or the leader saw this as an opportunity where, oh, I can get the glory. I can come in and swoop in, take it over, fix it, not even having the person walk alongside you as you're fixing it so they know what to do the next time. Nope. We come in, swoop in, fix it, and then we go and get the glory. We get all the accolades, and we have someone here who's now hurting. How do we turn that around? We help the person walk through what we would do or how we work together, what we can come up with together to fix it. There's no greater lesson, and there's the best person to come up with creativity on how to fix something is a person who's hurting because it happened. Many times we discount them because they made the mistake, but if you give them space to say, how can we fix this? How can we make this better? I bet you in most cases that they're going to dig so deep, one, because you've now engaged them in the remedy, and which proves that you're standing with them, and two, they want to make it right. And reputation is everything to people. And so now, if you approach it together, the remedy, when you approach the remedy together, innovate, ingenuity, and maybe even invite other members of the team. So it's now, and no one is saying, oop, I came in on my white horse, came in, saved the day. No, that doesn't help in the long scheme. And in my last episode or a previous episode, I talked about resiliency. So go back and watch that so you can see what resiliency is, because this is very related to how we restore people. So, yes, the person made a mistake. No, you don't make the wrong sound right when it's not. You help them acknowledge it. You stand with them in the acknowledgement of the fact that, man, I could have done that much better. And how do I fix it? How do we together partner to move beyond this space to do it better? Now, there are times when the opportunities pass, and there's nothing you can do for that scenario, but create another scenario, or when the next situation comes around that you would have naturally given to them, even if they had not, regardless of if this situation had happened before, you would naturally assign them to it. Still show your confidence in the person and give them the opportunity to do it again, and walk closer with them and help them to succeed. That's what restoration looks like. It looks like helping to lift somebody up who might feel like, man, I'm never going to recover from this. And they never will if they don't have help. And when they win the next time, you celebrate that next win like as New Year's Eve. You celebrate that next win, because in restoration, we do several things. We build up people's confidence, we help them restore their reputation, and we give them a level of the transparency in which they go through it helps increase their integrity, because only integrity people will say, I messed up. Only integrity people will work through to help make a wrong a right. And in that scenario, I mean, really do what they can to make it better, or the next time, give it all they have to really make that next time a really great outcome. Only integrous people do that. Only people who care about their reputation, who they are, and the people around them to make sure they succeed. That's who does that. And so let's restore people. Let's build up their hope. Let's build up their confidence. Let's help them maintain their integrity and character. Those people who are willing to, or are so hurt by a mistake they've done and need restoration because they have core values within themselves that say, I'm better than that. And you know what? Sometimes it's just a learning curve. If I didn't have this scenario, this situation, I might have done the task before, but how many of us know that every time we have a task and you have different people involved and you have a different scenario involved, different circumstances, that task needs to be approached maybe a little differently. So it could have just been a learning experience, because now I'm in an environment and a situation that does not quite look like the run-of-the-mill, the routine environment which I've done this before. It could just be a lesson learned moment. But as a great leader, you have the opportunity to help restore that person. And when you do that, your credibility goes sky high, not just for that individual, but for the rest of the team that's watching how you handle it. So restoration is key and most important. You can get there without a whole lot of hesitation when you remember, I had a past, or I had a situation in the past that I needed to be restored. And whether I got it here in the workplace or external, in my community or my family, I was restored. I was able to recompose myself so that I could continue to move forward. I could persevere. Let's be leaders in the workplace that people can depend on to help them be restored back to good favor. If you are looking for someone to be a speaker in your organization, I'm happy to come in and share leadership concepts I speak on, and I teach leaders the principles of agile change leadership, which really talks about transparency, authentic communication, all those ways of being able to see, here's where we are today, here's where we want to go tomorrow, and how do we make that transition as smoothly as possible, including the voices that we need to include so that people feel empowered through the transition, through the change, as opposed to being fearful and defeated. I also run workshops for leaders in their leadership teams, as well as I do one-on-one coaching for leaders. I believe, like never before, that leaders need the support to be able to grow and go to places we've never been before. And yes, we will take along with us our experiences. We will take along with us our knowledge, our education, our core values. We're going to take all those with us, but we need support to bounce off ideas, to be able to make sure we're staying on track with idea, installing the idea and implementing the idea with people in mind, leading the way. You can reach me at www.DestinySpeak.com, which is my website. I have online courses. My books are there: Conquering Corporate Enemies, Mind, Personalities, and Situations, which has a companion book. I also have the book that I mentioned earlier, No Bosses Allowed, Lead to Serve and Transform. It too has, within each position, I mentioned the 12 steps of comparing a boss to a leader. Each one of those has a reflection page where you can actually come up with a plan for your next 30 days or next 60 days, what have you, on how you're going to implement that. I also have a journal, a 30-day journal, Unlocking Your Leadership Potential, that was just released. It is packed with really strong prompts for leaders on how to manage the vision performance, on how to empower you and your team, on how to have authentic communication, on how to be agile and adapting resilient, how to really have adaptive resilience. That journal, I'm telling you, if you take it through, and I had a leader say, "Whoa, it's 30 days, but it's so packed with so much, I don't know if I can get through it in 30 days. Take your time through it, but it allows you space to really think about how you're showing up as a leader and how you can adapt to showing up in a greater way. You are going to find that so helpful as you continue on your leadership journey. All those books are available on my website. You can get them. There's courses there. More are coming. Like and subscribe to this podcast. I'm bringing out more and more all the time. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. My newsletter, I have a newsletter on LinkedIn. So go to Yvette C. Owens, and my newsletter is really helping a lot of people and serving. It has many, the subscription and the number of people subscribing is just really, in my words, blessed my soul. So I'm glad it's really helping so many people. So I gave you many different resources, but that's because I want to make sure you succeed as a leader. So go to my website, DestinySpeak.com, connect with me on LinkedIn, and stay with us at the Intesoul Leadership broadcast on YouTube. Have a great day.